Good evening and welcome back. You're watching Newsbreak. Let's now talk about Dera Sacha Sauda chief and rape convict, Gurmeet Ram Rahim Singh. He has been granted yet another parole. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this time around for 30 days. He walked out of a Rohtak jail in Haryana. Ram Rahim, remember, is serving a 20-year jail term for raping two of his disciples. Earlier, Singh had been granted a 40-day parole in January. In October last year, he was granted another 40-day parole, and this has gone on and on and on and almost makes you appear and makes you wonder. In his case, is parole the norm and jail the exception? I have with me Ankit Tyagi, who will basically tell us, Ankit, why as we see these pictures on the screen of him leaving the Rohtak jail, can you please tell us, tell our viewers, how many times has this happened since 2017?
Well, it just seems that he is still such a powerful man that at his whims and fancies, parole and furloughs are granted to him, Sanket. Now, this is the 7th time that Ram Rahim has been given parole. In fact, he was convicted, remember, of rape, and he got out on parole, just as you mentioned, for 40 days this year. And that was the time when Himachal elections were on. So whether it's his birthday or elections, Ram Rahim is always out. 15th August is when his birthday, and he's again been given a parole for 3 days. Now, we are told that Ram Rahim is on this parole. He is going back to his ashram in Baghpat because he's not allowed to stay in Punjab and Haryana. Now, remember, this is the fifth parole. The 5 paroles that he got, they were in duration of just 2 years. 5 paroles in 2 years. Tell me any other convict who gets such a VVIP treatment. He has overall been given 7 paroles or furloughs. In 2017, he was sentenced for 20 years in prison for rape. The convicted rapist came out on parole thrice in 2022 itself. In February for 21 days, that was coinciding, remember, with the Punjab elections, where he's supposed to have some sort of influence as far as the voters are concerned. In June 2022, a month-long parole was given to Ram Rahim. He again stayed in Baghpat at his ashram. In October 2022, a 40-day parole ahead of the crucial Haryana by-poll. Then, in January 2023, as we have been talking, he was given a parole, and remember, that was the time when the Himachal elections were on. A big birthday bash was also held at that moment. While on parole, Ram Rahim has held satsangs. He has made videos, appealed to his followers to have faith in him. And interestingly, Sanket, BJP leaders have been seen at these satsangs while Ram Rahim has been on parole. We are not talking about somebody who's facing trial, is yet to be convicted. He's a convicted rapist serving a 20-year sentence. And these videos that you are seeing before and after the sentencing more or less remain the same.
That's right. Thanks very much, Ankit, for putting things in perspective and telling us why this could be a case of parole again, and parole becoming the norm in the case of Gurmeet Ram Rahim. DP Kaushik, leader of Haryana BJP, Ashwini Dubey, advocate in the Supreme Court, Tehseen Poonawala is a political analyst, supports the views of the Congress party, and Kapil Madan is an advocate in the Supreme Court. Thank you very much. Mr. DP Kaushik, I want to begin with you first. If you recall, the last time when he had come out on parole, you were on a discussion and you were asked a question as to why the Bharatiya Janata Party and its various leaders are showing so much generosity, where this man is cutting his birthday cake using a sword, and leader after leader, some mayors, local mayors of the BJP saying that you are like our father. Do you think that this augurs well? He's a convict. He's a criminal. Mr. Kaushik.
But संकेत, देखिए, हम लोग डिस्कस करते हैं, डिबेट करते हैं, तो कानून के दायरे के अंदर जो भी होता है, हमने पहले भी किया है. लास्ट टाइम वहाँ पे इंसिडेंट जो पानीपत का बता रहे थे, वहाँ पे हमारे मेयर, जो भी मैंने उस टाइम भी क्लियर किया था, जिसकी जो श्रद्धा है वो जाए, पार्टी कभी किसी को नहीं कहती. और फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल मैं आपको बताना चाहूंगा, कभी भी राम रहीम के किसी भी प्रोग्राम से कोई भारतीय जनता पार्टी की अपील किसी मतलब वीडियो के अंदर उन्होंने अपील नहीं की, किसी प्रोग्राम के अंदर नहीं की. मुझे अगर एक भी कोई ऐसी चीज हो तो आप मुझे बता दीजिए. हर बार एलिगेशन लगता है कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी उनको उसी टाइम पैरोल देती है जब कोई इलेक्शन होता. आप इलेक्शन पहले हरियाणा से जोड़ रहे थे, फिर आपने पंजाब से जोड़ दिया, फिर हिमाचल से जोड़ दिया।
मैं
अब आप
इसमें एक
यूपी के
कदम
बात
और आगे
करते हैं,
जाऊं।
मतलब मुझे-
This is not
जी,
just
जी,
the it's not just the BJP. In fact, Ram Rahim has earlier also supported the Congress party. That my followers must support the
पहले की बात
Congress.
है ना,
So
before-
there
before-
is
हाँ, before
he
BJP
he has great political clout across party lines. I think that should be clarified. Mr.
मैं सर जी मैं ये बताना चाहूंगा, ये देखिए आप 2013-14 से पहले बोले थे, हमारे जो हरियाणा के कांग्रेस के लीडर भी जाते थे, बट अब ये चीज हम नहीं कह सकते ना, जिनकी मैं पहले ही क्लियर कर चुका हूँ कि जिनकी सर जाए वो जाए। ऐसा नहीं कि 100% सरकार वहां पे जाकर नतमस्तक होती है। जिसको जो जाना है, जिसको मानते हैं गुरु, देखिए हर
नहीं,
मुझे
डीपी
लगता है
कौशिक
कि
जी,
हरियाणा
अभी
के
आपने
हर-
मुझे ये बोला दैट ये तो प्रोसेस
मानते
है,
हैं।
ये तो लीगैलिटी है, देयर इज नो illegality in what has happened. You are right, because parole has been granted through a process of the law. But my point is, Tehseen Poonawala, do you feel that the state or the law is being way too generous in granting these furloughs and parole for this one convict?
Sanket, it's not about one convict.
Who grants parole?
On a day,
The state.
Sanket, on a day. May I make my point,
Yes.
Sanket? Thank you. On a day, the entire nation is outraged on what happened in Manipur. The entire nation, without exception. On a day, the most honorable Prime Minister addressed the media and said that spoke about women's dignity. The BJP government gives Ram Rahim parole, does not oppose it, and Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh gets bailed. The Delhi police under the BJP government does not oppose it. This is your women's safety? This is about the women you're talking about? Manipur, you saw, was horrendous. The Honorable Chief Minister comes on media and says, that is why we shut the internet, because there are thousands of such cases. Finally, after the Chief Justice spoke, the Prime Minister was forced to speak. Forced to speak. What happened? Ram Rahim gets out after the Prime Minister speaks. Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh gets unopposed bail. And the rapists of Bilkis Banu continue to be sanskari. There is one common factor in all of this, the BJP government. And if you don't take the bull by the horns, Sanket, then we are misleading your viewers. The BJP is the common factor in all of this, and we need to call this out.
Okay, DP Kaushik's quick right to reply before I introduce the lawyers. Mr. DP Kaushik, would you like to respond to what Tehseen has said?
पुणेवाला जी बाद इस चीज को लेके असम के मैटर को ले आगे
आसाम में मणिपुर, अगर आपको आसाम और मणिपुर के बीच
आप मणिपुर की बात करें तो
शर्मनाक चीज है। आपको आसाम और मणिपुर के
One by one, please, one by one.
एग्री विद यू
No heckling, please, one by one. Yeah.
आपकी सरकार अब 77 डेज जो मैटर को आज एफआईआर दर्ज हो रही है इसके अंदर, आप देखिए आप प्रधानमंत्री से एक्सेप्ट कर रहे हैं, आपकी सरकार ने क्या किया? प्रधानमंत्री जी बोलेंगे, हमारे माननीय गृह मंत्री ने बोल भी दिया, सजा कड़ी से कड़ी सजा दी जाएगी। इन्वेस्टिगेशन आप लोगों का काम था, आपने की क्यों नहीं? क्यों 77 डे आपने निकाल
No,
दिए? आपके
here
राज्य के अंदर ऐसी
Mr. Kaushik, for the purposes of this discussion, let us restrict ourselves to Gurmeet Ram Rahim. Yes, it'll be better for us. Otherwise, we'll go all over the place. Kapil Madan and Ashwini Dubey, one by one. Kapil Madan, I want to come to you now. You see, this whole business of granting parole and being very generous with granting parole. I mean, is this something special about Mr. Gurmeet Ram Rahim? Or so it appears?
Sanket, I will tell your viewers, while granting parole is the discretion of the
parole,
state
not
government.
bail.
Yes, parole is the discretion of the concerned state government, but the discretion, there has to be some material on the basis of which you will exercise that discretion. Now, in the opening narration, Ankit very elaborately pointed out that on how many occasions Gurmeet Ram Rahim was granted payroll after one after the other. Sometimes he is out to celebrate his birthday, sometimes for any other reason. So to my understanding, it looks like a case of injustice to the other prisoners who might be waiting for their payroll to have been considered. I mean, if there are several hundred pleas of payroll that are filed regularly, which takes a huge amount of time before they get any final adjudication. Now, one thing is very, very clear that this person is definitely using his clout. Definitely, the state government is showing some leniency because it can't be that for one particular individual you are exercising this discretionary power one after the other. There can't be extreme circumstances within a span of 3 months that a person needs to be out once again. And let me tell you another important factor here. There is another case of castration of his followers, which is pending. The fact that you let this person out on parole, there could be a possibility that a person that exercises a clout as Ram Rahim could influence that investigation also, that trial also.
Okay. Ashwini Dubey, can you please, for the benefit of our viewers, tell us who was in government? First of all, who grants bail? The government, right? It's the responsibility of the state government, which is the Haryana government, Mr. Manohar Lal Khattar's government. Who was in power in October 2022 when he got 40-day parole ahead of the by-poll in Haryana? Who was in power in January 2023 where he held a big birthday bash? Who was in power in June 2022 when a month-long parole was granted? February 2022, then in the year 2022 he came out on parole thrice. Could you tell us, please?
There is the regime which is, as of now, the regime was existing earlier. It's an admitted position. But the question is, the parole or furlough is not a discretionary remedy. Before the state government comes into the picture, there is a competent authority based on the report. A report submitted by the superintendent of police decides whether the parole or furlough under any circumstances is required. Let me clarify two things. One, parole is granted for the prisoner to meet a specific exigency. And those exigency, the family members, which includes father, mother, spouse, son, daughter, serious illness, family member's death or accident, a member of the family marriages, convict's wife give birth to child, maintain social or family ties. Now the Haryana, let us discuss the
Mr. Dubey, in one such parole, he held satsangs. In another parole, he cut his birthday cake with a sword.
Yes,
in a third parole, it happened right before a by-poll in Haryana. You tell me which one of these things is an exigency?
And that
is it a huge emergency that you want to cut your cake with a sword?
There has to be a balance against the public interest and parole. Also a person who has come out, because he has to assign the reasons. There is a Haryana jail manual. Jail manual says that you have to assign a reason. One. Second, now come to the other part.
No, Mr. Dubey, I want to ask you, is cutting your birthday cake with a sword, holding a massive satsang, coming out just ahead of by-polls, is this a huge emergency which warrants a parole?
One of the conditions, Sanketji, maintains social or family ties also. Let us complete. Allow me to
then
complete.
Apply this equally to every convict.
Yes, it applies.
Grant parole to everyone.
Yet it applies.
I'm sure all convicts have families.
Every person has a right to apply for the parole or furlough. And let me clarify, there is a distinction.
But only a few get it.
Assign a reason. For furlough, you don't have to assign a reason. And the section 3 of the Haryana jail manual also says that
you are stating the factual position, the law. I agree. Every word of what you are saying is correct. But how is it being applied in this case versus the visuals that we see? I am just asking Tehseen Poonawalla, is cutting your birthday cake with a sword a big family exigency which requires parole? Or is holding a satsang extremely important for the society where parole needs to be granted to a rape convict?
How else will you be sanskari and then be felicitated during an election? So this is exactly what the government, the commonality BJP does. But let me ask my dear friend Ashwini Dubey a simple question. Ashwini is right, as you pointed out, that there is a competent authority, the jail administration, that recommends a furlough or a parole, and then the state government takes a call on it. How many such people have got as many furloughs or paroles as Ram Rahim has got at a time when he wanted it? And the answer to that, Ashwini Bhai, is zero. Ram Rahim, from the jail superintendent and the jail staff to the state government, there is an exception being made. It is no one's case that the jail administration is completely subservient to the state government. It's not an independent body. It listens to what the state government wants. And therefore, it is the state government that is encouraging this. This Ashwini Bhai, on the day the Honorable Prime Minister in Parliament, outside Parliament, spoke about atrocities on women and violence on women. Ram Rahim is out and Brij Bhushan Singh is out on bail without his bail being opposed. I ask you, Ashwini Bhai, is this the right thing? Can you show me any other prisoner in that Haryana prison?
Okay, Ashwini's response and then Kapil Madal. Ashwini, your response.
My argument is on twofold. One, as a student of law, I see everything in the eyes of the law. If there is a law or the rules which permit someone to apply for a particular release either through parole or furlough, and competent authority finds it and release somebody. And if anyone has an objection, then has a right to approach to the court of law to ask that, look, this gentleman is a danger, serious danger to the law and order of the society. Therefore, his parole or furlough should be cancelled. This is one. This right also gives an individual right. I, my friend Tehseen Poonawala, my friend Kapil Madan, or my friend Sanket Upadhyay, he may also approach to the court, being the senior journalist of the. Now, two, when the rule provides something to do, the rule says that you have a right to apply for parole or furlough. Then where is the question for
Ashwini Bhai? May I please answer you? It's not, the rules apply equally to apply for it. Yes. How many people get benefit of the rule is the question, Sanket, and I ask you. And the answer to that is a clear bias. Nobody else. Yes, Ashwini Bhai, Sanket Bhai, or anyone else who's in jail.
Yeah, so everyone can apply. How many get it? And I think that's the point which is being made. Kapil Madan. Kapil Madan.
Yes. Now, Sanket, I just wanted to make a very important point here. You mentioned that in one of the payroll, he was cutting cake. In one of the
sword,
payroll,
no less.
he was, yes, and he was, holding a satsang. Now, the point I was trying to make in my opening remark is that once the state government decides whether they want to give a payroll or not, whether the state has considered all these aspects while considering the payroll, shows whether they want to, do it objectively, or they want to do some sort of a favor because the state apparently wants, they have a decided mindset that they wanted to, give payroll to that individual. My objection here is that when the state acts in a perfunctory manner, the state where it is supposed to look into the material on record, or the material which is available, however, the state turns its blind eye over that material and still go ahead and grant the payroll. That's where the problem arises.
Yes, so the question is to the state. Very simply.
Yes.
Everybody is allowed to apply. How many get it? DP Kaushik, आप मुझे ये बताइए, ये क्यों है ऐसा कि आपकी राज्य जो है वो बहुत ज्यादा, आपकी सरकार बहुत ज्यादा मेहरबान है?
नहीं, संकेत, कहीं सरकार मेहरबान नहीं। मैं अभी आप लोग को एक बात सुन रहा था, आप बोल रहे थे उन्होंने भजन करने के लिए पैरोल मिला, केक काटने के लिए पैरोल मिला। मुझे लगता है कि ये शायद आप लोगों के पास डाटा आया होगा। मैं नहीं समझता कि
मैंने ये बोला कि वो पैरोल पे बाहर निकले, जो भी कारण दिया होगा, और उसके बाद
तो उन्होंने किया ना। फिर मैंने आपको कहा था, अभी चैलेंज करे कोर्ट को, अगर उसकी बेल अप्रूव हुई है आपकी पैरोल, तो कोई भी
डीपी कौशिक जी, आपकी सरकार नहीं चैलेंज करेगी,
कोई तो जाए ना उसके खिलाफ।
आप बार बार पैरोल देते रहेंगे, जबकि आप देख रहे हैं कि वो पैरोल के टर्म्स का उल्लंघन हो रहा है।
संकेत सिंह, कंपिटेंट अथॉरिटी ने पेपर तैयार की, कोर्ट में मैटर गया, वो तो वहां से सैंक्शन हुई पैरोल, उसमें सरकार का कहीं रोल होता नहीं। अब अगर किसी को ऑब्जेक्शन हो कोर्ट में जाए, भाई इसको बार बार क्यों दे जा रही है, मैं लास्ट टाइम भी कहा था, बट कहीं होता नहीं ना, सबका अधिकार सब लीजिए।
Seventh parole so far. One really does not know how many more to come, but this is the 7th parole again for this rape convict. Thank you very much for joining us. Stopping for a short break on Newsbreak. We'll be back with a lot more.